Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I am your host, David Dodge, and today I am joined by a friend, a fellow real estate investor, an author, and just a beast at business, Eric Hatch. Eric, welcome to the show again.
David, you forgot to say male model as well. I am always the before picture, right? You put the before and the after, and I get to be the before portion. It's unbelievable.
That is not
Double D,
true.
David Dodge. Great to be here, man. Long-time listener, second-time caller.
That's right. That is not true at all. You are one handsome SOB, my friend.
Oh man, get that glaucoma checked, buddy. But I appreciate it.
I love it. Well, Eric, thanks for coming on the show, man. I know we're going to be able to provide a ton of value to the listeners and the viewers. So you are the author of a book about leadership. What's that one called?
So it's I'm so glad you asked. I happen to have it right here. So it's called Play for the Person Next to You. It's a guide to servant leadership, and it's a book that I launched 2 years ago, knowing that the mindset of leadership is the catalyst for growth in anything and anywhere at any time. And when a leader improves their ecosystem, everything around them gets better. And so for me, it was an intentional first book, and it was buying into the philosophy of the businesses that I run, the properties that I take care of, the life that I live, the husband and the father that I am. It's all ingrained in that one spot of that book.
Phenomenal book. I did read it 2 years ago when you gave it to me.
Man.
I think I'm going to read it again, actually, now. I love
Appreciate that.
Mindset is everything, man. It is truly everything. And yeah, awesome. Very, very cool. So guys, go check that out. It is called Play for the Person Next to You. Very, very
cool. Yeah, just go to hatchingleaders.com. I put my name on everything, David. So hatchingleaders.com is where you want to go to take a look at that book and order yours.
Hatchingleaders.com. I love it. We'll
That's
put
right.
that in the show notes, man. That's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
So, hey, you got a new book coming out, though. And that's really one of the things I want to dive into on this podcast.
Yeah,
it's going to be a blueprint, right, on how to... Don't quote me on this, but a blueprint on how to grow the perfect real estate business?
Yeah. So the title of the book is called The Perfect Real Estate Agent Blueprint.
Okay.
David, you live in the wholesale world and the investing world. I am a wholesaler. I'm an investor, but I just scratch the surface on things like you do. Man, by the way, you're approaching 100 properties. Super proud of you because that is a big deal. I stopped investing in properties when I hit about 60, and I pivoted and I started flipping. And so I take a lot of my cash and I flip, and I'm getting a fast return on my investment there because I built what I felt was my steady base. And now I'm using it to go after these projects. And it's a fun little return that I get because I have the original ones all set. You know, Ron Popeil used to say, set it and forget it when it came to the Ronco food dehydrator. And that's what I'm doing with my investment properties. And that's really fun. But where I spend most of my time is in traditional residential real estate. And so I run a large real estate team based out of Fargo, North Dakota. And
What's
so
that like being in the traditional real estate world? I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. I shouldn't say that because I buy from people occasionally,
Yeah.
right? But
David, it's all I've ever known when it comes to real estate. I've been a realtor for 15 years. And now, there's like 2 million realtors in the US. And like any other profession, most of the work gets done by a select few. And so my real estate team, we're the number 40 ranked team in the industry. So out of 2 million realtors, we're number 40, which is a fun place to be. And I only spend a day and a half a week in that business. But
dude,
I've
crazy. You guys are number 40 ranked and you spend a day and a half in the business?
Yeah. And
what?
And so we'll sell 1,050 to 1,100 homes this year in Fargo, North Dakota, which is a community of 250,000 people. So we are selling, I have a market share here of about 10%. So one out of
I
every
would have
10
thought it would have
homes.
been 60% at 1,100 homes, man.
Yeah,
Holy
about
cow.
yeah. Yeah,
That
so
is
it's pretty
crazy.
great. I do have some expansion markets as well. I'm in 4, soon to be 5 other expansion markets too. And the residential real estate game is fun. It's an introduction to great relationships, and I'm helping agents on my team. You know, if you're with me for 2 years and you grind and climb your way up, and you'll make $30,000 to $80,000 a year for your first 2 years. I have agents now in Fargo, North Dakota that are making $500,000 and $600,000 a year as their net, as their take home.
Well,
And
I don't
these
know
are
about Fargo, but I'm moving to Fargo, man. That's amazing.
well,
That's
and these are guys that have very little risk in their life.
sure.
They're hustling, they're working really hard, and we're scaling up their business, but they're doing it one commission check at a time, and I get a cut of it, and I give them all the leverage, and they get a cut, and they do all the hustle to sell. And so we have guys that are 28, 29, 30, 31 years old that are making $500,000 a year
That's
without,
wild.
some without college educations, and some just finding a way. So I get to be a catalyst for that. And we figured out a lot of things along the way. And so what happened, David, is I took all that information of what we've done with our team, and I've been implementing that through my coaching company. That's where I spend my other 3.5 days a week, is with my coaching company. And so I've been coaching realtors and business people essentially how to get out of the messy middle. A lot of them will build up
Oh man, I'm sure
ecosystems
that
of
that is a massive, massive amount of value, because that is a tough business. It's so tough that I don't even want to get in it.
well, real estate is easy. People are complicated.
Yeah, that's the
And
problem.
and
Yeah.
you've chosen a life and a career where you figured out the real estate part, where it's easy.
And I've
Once people get
outsourced the
involved, it's
people
a lot
part.
harder.
At
Yeah.
least on after the purchase, right? Everything after it I've outsourced in terms of the people part. But yeah, it's always a people business, you know?
Yeah. And so what I've done now is as I'm teaching these people all around the industry on how to grow their teams, I think the right way, both to maintain the right profit margin and to have the right ecosystem. We're building a blueprint. It's called the Perfect Real Estate Agent Blueprint. So it's going to be a trade book. We're about a third of the way through it, but we have all of our materials, and now it's just actually getting the flow of it. And so it'll launch in early 2022. But this is essentially a guidebook to how to grow a great team. And the idiosyncrasy that happens in traditional residential real estate is an agent says, I got really good at selling houses, and now I'm going to grow a team. And then the goal is to get out of production for people in the business. They want to basically work on the business and not in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when these agents get themselves out of production, they all of a sudden realize, oh crap, where'd all my money go? Well, let me give you a couple of examples, David. Okay. And I think it'll help to paint the picture. Let's take a traditional real estate commission of, let's say, $10,000. If I myself can close 5 deals in a couple month period, I'm going to make $50,000, right? 5 deals each worth $10,000. Now, what most people say is, all right, I want to grow this business, so I'm going to hire some agents to do those deals for me, right? We all, no matter what you're doing, whether it's wholesaling or investing, you want to hire leverage, and you think that that's going to be your greatest tool at success.
Agreed.
Yep. And so you take those 5 quality at bats that you would close on all 5 of them, and you're thinking, all right, this new kid on the block, I'm gonna pay him a 50% commission or a 40% commission. So I'm gonna pay him $5,000 on every $10,000 deal. So I'll make 25. He or she will make 25, and I'm gonna have a great life, and I'm not gonna have to work, and I'm gonna make $25,000. The problem is that person is usually undertrained. They're new to the game. They lack skill and precision and savvy and stick-to-itiveness. And so they don't close on 5 of them, they close on 2 of them. And what I just did is I just said I could have made $25,000, but now I'm only closing on 2 of them. So I made $10,000. They made 10 grand, I made 10 grand. That's a pretty crummy business model. And yet that's
Especially
how
if you have
most
a fixed cost of 20,000, you're losing money that year.
That's how
Right.
most people start their real estate teams.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing is we're rewriting the blueprint and the model to say, stop hiring all of these new untrained people and giving them commission-based jobs. I think that if you're hiring somebody based on commission, David, I don't care if it's your industry or my industry, if you're hiring somebody based on commission, they're one of 5 people.
Okay.
Number 1, there's somebody with a sugar daddy or a sugar mama.
Okay.
Number 2, there's somebody with a trust fund.
Okay.
Number 3, there's somebody with terrible financial habits. Number
Which is
4,
most people.
It sure is. That's why it's my middle finger, right? Number 4 is somebody with a second job because they need some cash flowing in.
Okay.
And number 5, the little pinky that remains on my hand as I count that off, is somebody who actually saved up 4 to 6 months of income so that they can jump into a full-time commission job. And that is a sales industry, any commission industry whatsoever. That's who usually raises their hand to say, I want to do this job, is they either have money in the bank and that money maybe wasn't given or that wasn't earned by them. And so they maybe aren't the most motivated. Of course, there are some that are trust fund kids and sugar babies that are doing really well because they work hard, but I'm speaking in generalities.
Yeah, no,
here.
I get it for sure. Yep. So this is reasons people would want to work in a commission environment.
Yeah, I say commission jobs are the wrong way to build a real estate team and the wrong way to build a wholesale business. I actually think that you need to have such savvy of your numbers that you hire somebody with confidence and you pay them a base pay, or you pay them a salary. They can earn a smidge of commission on top of it. But I believe the philosophy is everything is earned and nothing is given. Because if you want to come into my world and make $500,000 a year, you better start off on a $30,000 a year salary and earn your way to the top.
For sure.
Yeah,
I love it.
I want you to get your MBA in real estate working under me and beside me, and then you will go off and do great things. Because the failure rate in retail real estate and for realtors is over 80% of people fail in their first 2 years.
Oh, I would have thought it would have been in the first 2 months.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's you're not far off.
Yeah.
Because the amount of training it takes to be exceptional at this job is usually not done by most people that just get thrown into it.
Yeah.
And so I want to turn the model on its head, David, and I'm doing that with my coaching clients, and I've done it with my own team. Of every person I have on my team right now, we're a team of 58 people. Zero
It's a big team, man.
0 people have had real estate experience prior to working with me.
Holy cow, that's pretty cool.
New people. Because I hire on culture and character, and then I train on skill. And I'll bring them in, and they'll start, for the most part, everybody starts in a salaried position. Because David, if I tell you, you have to make a hire, it's going to cost you $30,000 or $40,000 a year, your cash out of your pocket, you're probably going to be pretty precise in how you make that hire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, if I tell you you're going to hire somebody based on commission and you hope they work out, you're going to find anybody that raises their hand or fogs a mirror.
Yeah, it's true.
But let's go back to my first example is 5 deals, each worth $10,000. That person for you is a $25,000 hire just for those 5 deals. And you can get that done in a couple months.
In a couple months. That's so true.
And so that's a $25,000 risk that you end up squandering because you're trying to save a buck and pay somebody commission instead of actually having your numbers dialed in and you have a supportive ecosystem. And so we're changing this game one hire at a time. It is irresponsible to give our clients an untrained, newly licensed, wet behind the ears agent. They deserve better. And I have a fiduciary responsibility to make realtors less lame than they are right now.
I love it, guys. He just used one of my favorite words, which is fiduciary. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, fiduciary is somebody that has your best interest in mind, and they're not necessarily making money just to sell you something, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking more of a fiduciary as versus like a broker in the financial planning landscape.
Right.
Now, there's obviously still going to be pay. You're still going to have to pay these individuals, but they have your interest aligned. They're not just trying to sell you, let's say, a home because they need to sell a home this month. It's like, let's go find you a home that works. And what is the things you're looking for in a home, and what's the things you're not, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. I love that, Eric. That is awesome. Very cool. So you're putting together a blueprint to teach, I'm assuming, teams or people that are in the agent or broker role that are the solo individual. And I love Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. So how I'm interpreting this is you're looking at the people basically in the S quadrant. They're the self-employed business owners, right? Or self-employed, even working for another business owner, because that's kind of how real estate works in some cases as the agent, right? But you're teaching them how to go from that S quadrant to the B quadrant by putting together a blueprint to build a team. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in layman's terms, I would say you need to go deep and not wide.
Mm-hmm.
I think that quite often we want to add other people that are doing our job or our similar jobs because we think that's where the biggest action is. See, we're telling people that your first hire that you should make is not another agent and is not a partner that's licensed, it's an admin. Because the first thing you need to do is get all that minutia killing stuff off your plate. David, I don't care if it's your world or my world, the first hire you should make is an admin. And this person is giving you time back because you're drowning in the things you are not naturally designed to do. And if you have the ego of yourself to say, nobody can do it as well as I can, you will never have a life that you're actually called to. And so the first hire is an admin that takes things off your plate. The second hire,
I'm gonna parallel this. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm pretty confident I'm gonna agree with everything you're saying. So you're totally on the traditional side. I'm on the investment side. We're kind of, I mean, you do obviously both, but our main businesses are definitely very different. My first hire was an admin too. Yeah. And I made the first hire 7 years ago. Brought in a guy to help follow up and work in my system, so I didn't have to be in the system, so on and so forth. So that's awesome. Love it. Second,
yeah, you want to spend all your time in high dollar producing activities. That's the goal. And nobody's as talented as me. Nobody's as talented as you. That is the last job you should hand off, is that big swinging money earning opportunity. That's the last job. Don't go wide and put a bunch of other people that are supposed to do what you do. You go deep because you are the one that is feeding that ecosystem.
Love it.
The second hire, David, is another admin.
I love it. That's basically what we did. I love it.
And the first one helps you breathe. Yeah. The second one helps you grow. Right?
Yes.
I remember back in 2012 when I started my real estate team, the first person I hired, David, was somebody who was a college admin. She was a college student, and I hired her part-time. I don't like part-time help, by the way. I think that you're going to get part-time results with part-time help.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I hired her, and instead of having her take stuff off my plate, I gave her all of my dream lists. Like, I'm hoping to get this project, and this is something I really want to tackle. Well, I had a part-time, undertrained, underdeveloped person who then actually created more work for me.
Yes, absolutely.
The first hire has to help you breathe more before you bring in that second hire to help you go and do more.
Yes, and the first hire can help you train the second hire, and so on and so forth. So when you get up to, well, shoot, you're at 58. I'll be at like 13 or 14 here shortly. Yeah. Next week, actually, I think I'll be at 14. But I'm going to have my entire team help train the first 2 weeks. You know, like, I will obviously be there to help too, but it's like, if I'm not able to be there for the 8 hours all day, like, somebody else is going to be helping out. So yeah, I love that. Eric.
David, in our blueprint that we're writing, and it's for any industry, we're just using real estate as the backdrop for it.
Sure.
You are entering into what I refer to as the messy middle. And that is when you are, I think, between 10 and 20 people is like the hardest place to push through.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because there's a rule. It's called the rule of 3s and 10s. If you have the time and opportunity, Google it. But what happens in the rule of 3s and 10s is they say when your ecosystem is 3 people, 10 people, 30, 100, 300, and the multiplier goes on. Mm-hmm. Every time you hit that number, everything changes.
Yes.
Your leadership structure, your one-on-ones, your flow of operations, everything changes. Now, it may be 8 or 9 people, it may be 10 or 11 or 12
yeah,
people.
But on average, it's going to be a 3, and it's going to be a 10, it's going to be a 30. Yep.
And so, David, you're in a place right now where if you're going to grow, you got to start thinking like a leader of 30 people, which means that your issue now is no longer production. Your issue is leadership development of the other people, because you can't be everything to everyone. And now you're having to transition from being the doer in the business to the worker and leader on the business. And it's a very, very different skill set.
It is. It is so true. Very, very.
Now I go back to my time in production. I haven't sold a house in 7 years now, David. My team has. We've sold 5,000 houses in the last 7 years. It's been a heck of a fun run. And I've gotten to be a part of a lot of those, all those transactions. But I used to be the top dog before I got out of production.
Mm-hmm.
I was selling 150 homes a year myself.
Wow.
On top of what my team was doing. And so know that the average realtor sells about 8 homes a year. I was selling 150. 50 of those were a builder contract that I had. I was working new construction. The other 100 were sphere, referral, and past clients. We call it PCSOI, past client and sphere of influence. Now, I was working that, and I had an amazing business. And I did what I thought I was supposed to do, and what I was taught to do is I'm supposed to get out of production, and then I just refer all this business to everybody else on my team. Now,
that's what you thought.
That's what I did, because that's what I was taught to do.
Okay.
And as I referred all of this business to everybody else on my team, they didn't crush 5 out of 5 like I did. So I lost some stuff and some opportunities there. But as I handed, and understand our businesses are a little different, but as I handed off the transaction to agents on my team, I unintentionally handed off the relationship.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I look to say I was doing 100 deals that were friends of mine and referrals and past clients. In 2013 and 2014, I did 100 deals from that relationship. In 2019 and 2020, I did 36 each year. I lost 65% of my own personal production over a 6-year period because I did what I thought I was supposed to do. And the model in residential real estate had taught us that you refer this off to your agents, you give it to your team members. And it is the biggest financial blunder I've ever made. I did the math, David, on how much I've lost in the last 6 years by giving these things away. And it's over $2 million.
I believe it.
Because what I did is I tried to grow everybody else without maintaining my foundation. And the foundation for anybody, if you make the hire, and the hire I say is you hire admin, and then in our world, you hire a partner. This is a licensed agent who is my extension of everything that I do. They keep my micro business while I'm still adding other agents that are doing things, but it's my business, my sphere, the stuff I've worked for. I need to keep that as close to my chest as possible.
I love that. Admin, partner.
Yeah,
isn't
partner.
Necessarily, and you're not referring to partner as like equity stakeholder. You're referring to just somebody that has got your back. And
this is a showing partner. This is somebody who is the nurse to me being the doctor. Yep. I don't need another doctor yet. They haven't earned that right. Remember, everything is earned and nothing is given. And instead, I need a nurse. In fact, I need maybe a couple of nurses to tend to the triage of the day and to walk that person through the showings and to set them up with all of the communication and the hand holding that goes through it. I'm here for surgery. I'm here for navigation and negotiation. I'm doing the heavy lifting stuff, but I don't need to pay somebody a 50% salary or commission, I don't need to pay them a 40% commission. I pay them a base salary, and then I give them a little override on that, and they're going to earn their way to be a doctor. See, we're handing out far too much money and far too much irresponsibility, and we wonder why our models suck. Mm-hmm. The issue is not that you made a bad hire. The issue is you put somebody into a bad model.
Yeah,
and we have to change this model
into a situation. Yeah, that's not basically giving you the greatest amount of value that could be created. Instead, it's just, it's sometimes backwards. Man, that is awesome. So first hire, admin. Second hire, another admin. I love that. I have like 7 admins right now. So
you're a smart man.
You can keep scaling that, guys. Because again, you know, one of the things Eric said a minute ago was, put yourself in the position to where you are spending your time on the highest amount of income that you can earn in the hour. Right? Work on the $500 an hour tasks, or the $1,000 an hour task, or in some cases, the $10,000 an hour. Yes, I said that. Tasks, right? Versus the $8 or $10 or $12 or $15 tasks. Absolutely love that. Third person, a partner, someone who's got your back. Your analogy of the nurse to the doctor is beautiful. I love that. Very cool. So we're on to number 4. Another admin.
No. Well, kind of. This is
Could be.
this is an inside sales agent now. This is
Okay.
somebody who is setting appointments.
Mm.
This is somebody who is being the catalyst, because the admin team should be taking care of itself, right? This is a leadership game, David. It's why my first book was a leadership book before a real estate book, is because we had to get the heart before the head.
Mm-hmm.
And people, logic makes people think, but emotion makes people act. And so we got to have leadership in everything that we do. And so with that, we're going to have an inside sales agent, is what we call them. This is somebody who is fielding all the calls. They're generating new business for us, because I am in high production. My partner and I, and maybe it's even 2 partners or 3 partners and I, one of my coaching clients has 4 partners right now. Dude's going to make $1.5 million this year just with his micro team, just with his own production, because his numbers are stupid, his opportunities are robust, and he's just adding what is a proven model. And I don't know of many people that have a small team with not a lot of leadership responsibility that comes with it that are making 7 figures. It really doesn't happen. You have to either have your own production as a mass producing, dollar income producing thing, or you have to have a ton of people and you're going to get a little from a lot of people. And I actually think you can have both, because you start with this micro team. This inside sales agent is setting appointments for you and your showing partner. And almost immediately that is going to create a demand for your next hire, your 5th hire. And that is either another partner or more agents in your ecosystem that are not on your micro team. This micro team always stays the same. My production, I shouldn't have given away back in 2014, David. I should have kept it, and I should have had somebody run that. I should have had somebody close to my chest, because great talent is looking for 2 things. Number 1, they're looking for proximity. They want to be close to the power source, close to the influencer, close to the decision maker, and they want to feel important. And so my greatest talent, I keep close to my chest. There's a book written by Mike Michalowicz, who's known for writing Profit First, which is probably his most popular book, but he wrote something called The Pumpkin Plan.
I love The Pumpkin Plan. Mike Malakowitz or something like that,
Mike
right?
Michalowicz. Yep. Mike Michalowicz.
Yes.
And in The Pumpkin Plan, he writes it on focusing on the 7 steps that these pumpkin farmers take to grow these world-class blue ribbon winning pumpkins. But he writes it as a client book. Like, here's how you tend to your big clients and make sure that they always feel important. I read it as a leadership book.
I did too.
That I need to give all of my time and attention to my top people. And so great talent wants proximity with the power source. And in my ecosystem, I'm the power source. And so if I want great talents, I need to have them close to my chest. And the second thing that they need outside of proximity is they need customization. The mistake that we make is that we offer our team members a one size fits all, here's the path, take it or leave it kind of option. And what's better is, David, if you were in my world and you were my partner and I saw that you were talent with a capital T, I would say to you, David, what life do you want? And I want to build a runway to help you get there. I want to give you a customized plan to have your dreams come true. I work for you, David. How am I going to help you achieve a big life? Because I want that to be in my world. Because when you win, I win. When I win, you win. And I need to make sure that we keep insane talent around with proximity and customization. And so with this micro team, this foundational piece for real estate, I need to have somebody who is now navigating and negotiating all of my contracts. I no longer am the guy that's the doctor. I own the friggin' hospital.
Yep.
Okay.
I love that. Yes.
And so in there, I now have raised up a doctor who is great at surgery, great at navigating and negotiating. And my job is to call my clients and treat them like big pumpkins. My job is to relationship the hell out of them and let them feel heard, seen, valued, because I need them to come back to me and I need my doctor to stay with me. And so my job is to then become the CRO. That's a Patrick Lencioni term. CRO is a Chief Relationship Officer. I no longer have to do the transactions. I need to be the relationship guy, David. I need to be the guy that is pouring into ecosystems of making people feel really good. That's a job. If I get paid 7 figures to make people feel good, sign me up all day.
I know, who wouldn't want that job, man? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Eric, I gotta stop you just for a second. You've been throwing out so many gold nuggets here. This is crazy. So I just want to reiterate and repeat a couple things that you just said for the audience here.
You bet.
Great talent's looking for 2 things. They're looking for proximity, and you phrased it. They want to feel important, which I love, and they want customization. And I love it. I agree. I think those things are so important, and that is exactly what great talent is looking for. Another thing you said, you may not have even realized it, but caught me out of left field. Logic makes people think, and emotion makes people act. Wow. That is a powerful statement. It's short and it's sweet, but it is filled.
It's not. I heard it from somebody else, but yeah,
That's okay.
Some of this stuff is original, but that one I stole.
With cold, hard truth, right? I love that. People want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be valued, and build a business around that, right? Become the CRO, the Chief Relationship Officer. Wow, that is awesome, Eric. Thank you for sharing all that. Holy cow. So we're talking about the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Admin, partner, inside sales agent, and then either a partner or more agents. When you
after that, it's a customized journey based on the talents that you have. Yeah, I would be foolish to try to say that my talents are the same as yours and that we want the same house, that we're building the same thing. But I'm trying to give people the understanding that there's the foundation of sales. Yep. And we need to lean into that foundation with our own micro team. If we want a mega team, that mega team will stay healthy when you have a micro team, because that micro team is a profitability center unlike anything else.
Okay, so speaking of that, I had a question about this a second ago. It slipped my mind, but you just brought it back. So thank you. So when you have your micro team, and then what do you refer to the rest of the team? If you have a
mega team,
the mega team, I love it.
Yeah.
So is there no overlap there, or is there? And where do you draw the line? Because obviously you want your micro team to be working with your personalized relationships that you've built, and you don't want to go from 100 to 36 or whatever it was because you're too busy, right? So they come in and they help. Basically, the way I look at it is they nurture the relationships that you've spent tons of time and money building.
Absolutely.
Right? Don't leave them behind, nurture them. So I guess the question is there overlap there? And if so, how?
Yep. There's a lot of overlap. And so we're all living in the same house on the same foundation. I just have a master bedroom that I'm living in. You know what I mean? And so here would be the 4 pieces that we're building on top of the sales foundation. These are the 4 pillars of growing a real estate business. Okay. The first pillar is leadership. You have your C-level executives, you have your hiring and HR department, you have training and development, you have all these things that cater to a leadership pillar. The next is you have a service pillar. These are all of your admin support. So you have your transaction coordinators, and you have your bookkeeper, and you have all of these front desk people and admin roles and responsibilities that are helping everything with all those minutia pieces that are no good for people like you and me. Mm-hmm. The third is the lead generation department. And that lead generation department is fueling a lot of the sales. And there's, of course, the responsibility that our agents are going to be bringing in their own deals, but there's also the responsibility of the company to set people up for big wins. And so that's a huge, to give you perspective, David, to run my real estate team, I spend $90,000 a month in lead generation. You know,
Man.
So I'm spending over $1 million a year to buy leads and at bats and opportunities for my team. The final pillar is the pillar of marketing, that we're marketing and we're advertising people's own, we're giving them client event opportunities. We're helping out on social media, and we're helping them to really develop a brand, because great talent will want the opportunity to shine. At least the egotistical salespeople like you and me, we're going to want our ability to have our own name out there. And I'm okay whoever's name is out there, because I'm more worried about the name on the check than I am the name on the sign. And so And so I'm willing to create a customized whatever somebody wants when they've earned it. And those are the 4 pillars based on the talent that we have, where people want to go, that we add to and subtract to. So we're all living under the same ecosystem, the same roof, the same structure. My micro team is relying on all those resources as well. I'm just feeding them more leadership, and I'm feeding them more deals and at bats from my own personal production. But my commitment to everybody else is this, David, is I'm not taking away anything from you. My job is to help you reach your goals. And so I'm going to be invested with those 4 pillars. I'm going to be invested with my dollars. I'm going to be invested with my time. And my job with all my agents is to help them reach their goals.
Holy cow, guys. 4 pillars of growing your real estate business: leadership, service, lead gen, and marketing. Coming from a guy who spends $1 million a year on marketing. Holy cow.
That hurts when you say it like that. Oh boy.
I love it, man. I love it. Holy cow. This is crazy. When can I get my hands on this book?
We are hoping to finish writing it by about Christmas time. It's going to come out sometime end of Q1 2022.
Perfect.
But we are putting all of our stuff, and all these resources are going to be available at hatchcoaching.com.
That was my next question.
And it'll be on Hatching Leaders and hatchcoaching.com. Yep.
So that was my next question. Where would people go to learn more, not only about the new book, but about how awesome and handsome you are, and about how great this system is that you're putting together as well. So hatchcoaching.com, and then what was the other one you said?
Hatching Leaders.
Hatching Leaders. Man, what a great name.
Yeah. I kind of lucked out. Like, you have a great last name too. Like, Dodge is pretty awesome. But Dodging Leaders is maybe
yeah. It's good for certain stuff, right?
That's right.
So hatchcoaching.com and hatchingleaders.com. Are those different places, or do they go to the same?
They are, yeah. They'll point to each other a little bit.
Sure,
but yeah, they're different sites with different purposes.
Holy cow, guys! I know that the majority of us listening to this right now are investors, they're new, but we do have a lot of agents as well. And if you are looking to grow your traditional real estate team, I can tell you hands down, there's nobody better in the business. I've known Eric for 3.5 years, I think, at this point, give or take. And every time I talk to this guy and meet this guy, I am blown away with how smart and intelligent and just awesome this guy is. Eric, you are the man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
David, you do a great job. This is super fun.
I really, really appreciate you. I'm super grateful for your time coming on today and sharing all this wealth of value and knowledge with everybody. And again, guys, if you are in the traditional space and you are looking to grow your team, go check out Hatch Coaching or hatchleaders.com. Eric, last question for you, buddy.
You bet.
What is the best way, other than those 2 websites there, for people to connect with you? Do you have a preferred social media, or is there a contact form on one of those?
Yeah. So like I'm maxed out on friends at Facebook, because once you get 5,000 Facebook fake friends, then they max you out.
Right.
But still follow me, because you can get all my content. That's where I'm probably the most active, is my Facebook page. So it's Eric with a K, Eric Hatch.
ERIC.
Track me down. No C. Heck
no. No C. My bad.
ERIK.
ERIK. HATCH.
That's right.
Got it. Awesome. Eric, do you have any parting words for us today? This is an audience of individuals that are mostly new or newish, and they are wanting to get their first deal. The name of the show is Discount Property Investor. We teach people how to buy properties at a discount. So what would be the parting words?
I will tell you this, that most of you are trying to play the game where you get your numbers right. When you learn how to connect with people and how you make them feel, will make all the difference in the world. I don't care if it's in my business or your business. This is a people game. Emotion will make them act, right? The logic will make them think. And so, yes, you need to know your numbers, but you got to make people feel good. And if you don't do that, you won't have the opportunities that you deserve.
That was a massive gold nugget bomb right there, guys. Holy cow. Eric, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, don't forget, go visit hatchcoaching.com or Hatching Leaders. I love that name.
Thanks.
.com to connect with Eric. He has the best program on the planet for growing teams of traditional real estate investors, hands down. And not only that, he is just one of the coolest individuals that I have ever met. Eric, thanks again for coming on the show, brother.
Appreciate you, Double D. Much love.
Thanks, buddy. Signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support. And remember, you make your money when you buy, you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.